Hi everyone, this video will cover modules 11 and 12, which is the end of the research essay. So by this point you have turned in an outline and gotten feedback, and you have turned in a rough draft. Your rough draft should have feedback on it within the first few days of the next module, so be keeping an eye out for that so that you can work on turning your rough draft into a final draft. So what we'll be doing at this point is a peer edit, which is one of the required outcomes for the class, as well as getting feedback from the Writing Center. So you'll get feedback from your instructor, from peers, as well as from the Writing Center in order to turn your essay into a final draft. So that's what we'll be looking at, these two modules. We'll be looking at the feedback module and then the final draft module. So a couple of really important things. I have module 11 right here. I'll probably have it open early because it's really, really important that you get your draft submitted on time. So if you have your rough draft done in module 10 and you submitted it on time, then you already have the draft that you're going to use. You don't have to make any changes. You can if you want to, but I think a lot of students just kind of use what they have. They may add a little bit more to it, but just keep in mind that you're going to get some of the same comments from me and probably the Writing Center if you have the exact same draft. And so if you're one of those people who just wants different comments, then you may want to work on it a little bit. However, it's really, really important that you get them submitted, get it submitted by these two dates. So here on Tuesday, April 5th at 11:59 p.m., you have to have your rough draft submitted to the rough draft assignment. If you do not, then you won't get a peer edit partner. So Canvas has a peer editing tool that automatically assigns peer edit partners, and it will only assign partners for students who have submitted a rough draft. So if you don't submit a rough draft, then you won't get a partner. I can go in and manually manipulate it a little bit. However, if nobody else has a late draft, then you just won't get a partner at all. You should be assigned 2 peer edits, and it will be students who have already submitted their drafts. So the advantage to using the tool like this is no one's going to be left without a draft to look at if they submit a draft themselves. So it's really important that you pay attention to that date. The other date on here is Wednesday. The day after, the day that you need to have it submitted to the peer edit assignment is the day you need to have it submitted to the online writing lab. This is their due date and not mine. The online writing lab should be able to get any essay back to students as long as they have at least 48 business hours to respond. And since the final or the copy of their comments is not due until Sunday, that means you have to have it in by Wednesday so that they have Thursday and Friday to respond, since they don't respond on the weekends. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you wait too long, you're just not going to get it back. You won't get any feedback, and you won't be able to do those assignments. And there's not a whole lot I can do to help you with that. And so it's really important that you pay attention to those dates. You can always email me, but I have no control whatsoever on the online writing lab. And I don't see whether or not you submitted something correctly. I don't even have a record of who submits. So it is your responsibility to make sure that you are doing it correctly. So in order to turn your rough draft into a final draft, you'll have submitted to the peer edit assignment. Once this Tuesday, April 5th, at the end of the day, you may have your peer edits assigned to you before then, but if people, it will automatically assign, it will automatically assign at 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday. So you won't even see who's submitted before then. After that point, then you can do your peer edits. I tried to put it earlier in the week so people have plenty of time to do it for the rest of the week, and hopefully it won't interfere with everyone's schedule too much. And then Wednesday, April 6th, you should get it back by the end of the week, as long as you've submitted. Obviously, you can submit before then. That would be ideal. But you should get it back by the end of the week. So you'll have feedback from the online writing lab, should have feedback from 2 of your peers, and should have feedback from your instructor on your rough draft from the previous module. At that point, then you are ready to turn your rough draft into a final draft. So this whole week of this module is just collecting feedback. So this is the Writing Center spot. This is where you will submit the email that they send back to you. So you will use the form for the Writing Center. You'll include the date that you submitted it and your name and your email address. This is really important because the email that you give to them is the one that they are going to respond back to you at. So if you give them an email that doesn't work or that you don't check, you're never going to get their response. So you send them their email, you give them your email, they will respond to your email with an attachment of your file that has their comments on it. They have other questions here as well that's really good to fill out everything with a star. You have to fill out, but this is a nice way of providing them with some ideas for what you're struggling with, and then that way you get better feedback or more specific feedback. You'll upload your file, and then don't forget to hit submit at the bottom. If you don't, it won't go anywhere. So that's the form that you'll fill out for the Writing Center. Within 48 business hours, they should respond. If you don't get a response within 48 business hours, you need to contact either Bruce Symes, who is the Writing Center director, his email's right here, or me. I can't do anything about it, so contacting just me is not really going to be helpful, but you want to make sure that you get a hold of someone and don't just wait until the end of the module and be like, oh, I didn't do it. So make sure that you are paying attention to that. Now, what you submit here, though, is not the essay that you're sending to them. And it does not submit here. This is what you respond. This is what you submit. This is the file that they send back to you that you'll submit to this assignment. So keep in mind that doing this assignment, clicking on Start Assignment, does not send anything to the online writing lab. They are not interconnected. You have to use the form or send it to his email directly in order to actually send it to the Writing Center. What you get back, that file with their comments, is what you submit here. When you get the file back in your email, if you open it in your Allen email, you won't get to see their comments because the Word Online does not show revision comments, the little annotated comments. You have to actually download it. So you download it out of your email and save it, and then you upload the file here. If you have trouble with it, let me know. I have had some students with some issues just because whatever program they're using will let them do that. Sometimes he will send the feedback file in a PDF form too, so you can always request that if you want, just so it's easier for you to open. So you upload to this assignment, you will upload the feedback file that they give back to you. Peer editing information, and then this is the peer edit. So the peer edit is pretty simple. You click on Start Assignment, you upload your rough draft. So this is the one where you will upload the rough draft that you have already written. The Writing Center one, you have to send it through the form in order to get the feedback, and you'll submit the feedback to that assignment. Here, you're submitting your actual rough draft. So you click on that and you upload it. At Tuesday, April 5th at 11:59 p.m., it will automatically assign peer edits. So you should get 2 of your peers essay, and they will appear when you come back to this. You'll see that you have 2 peer edits, and it should pop up on your list of items to do is to complete a peer edit. Now, I can't show you what this is going to look like because obviously even if I submitted an essay, it wouldn't show me until Tuesday, April 5th. So I linked instead the Canvas community thing that shows you what it's going to look like. So you can scroll down and see that you'll have 2 peer edits. Once you'll see that your submission is there, and then you'll see who you've been assigned as a peer edit. I'm not setting them up anonymously because I want you to be able to use all the tools. Then once you click on that, you'll see that their essay file is there, and then you'll see view feedback. When you click on view feedback, it shows up in a tiny little box here, and you need to expand on that. Once you expand the box, you should be able to use all of the editing tools that I use when I grade your essay. So you have a little pointer thing that will put the annotated comments in there. You can highlight, you can strike out, you can even draw all over it. It's pretty cool tool to be able to use. And so I really like using the peer edit tool in Canvas, although it's annoying because it has the due date and the automatic assignments, because then you don't get one if you're late. The ability to use this kind of tool really makes up for that. So we're going to be doing that. So you should be able to use all these little tools to to make the comments, little annotated comments that will show up in little bubbles on the side. And then you'll also have a rubric. And so the rubric, you'll click on Show Rubric and it will pop up. The rubric looks like this. And that is, I've got it broken down into the categories of your essay, the important parts of the essay: introduction, paragraph, thesis statement, organization, content, source usage, and works cited page in writing. And you either click on it has no issues or it needs improvement. If you click on needs improvement, then I expect you to leave a comment as to what needs to be improved. And so there should be at least one of these things here that needs improvement, but you might have a few with no issues or nothing that you see. So that will allow you to leave feedback. You don't have to leave feedback if there are no issues, but you do want to leave feedback if it needs improvement. So you'll be able to do that for the rubric, and they'll be able to see the comments. The only issue is make sure that you finish the rubric before submitting, because once you submit, it won't let you go back into the rubric and change anything. So it's just kind of a one-time thing. I don't know why they do that, but you'll do that for each of your peers' essays. So you should be assigned 2 peer edits, and then you'll do the 15 annotated comments or strike-throughs or highlights or whatever, and then the one rubric for each of your 2 assigned peer edits. This video is pretty long, so I'm going to make a separate one for the final draft of your essay. So hopefully you are doing well. If you have any questions,